Yeah, obviously very disappointed in the results. Ultimately a game that I think as we go back and evaluate, um, we'll first acknowledge Coach Bielema and his team for a game well played in the elements and finding a way to, you know, uh, win a trophy game. It's a credit to Coach. It's a credit to his program. Tremendous amount of respect for Illinois. And I think it's a game that we'll go back and evaluate and say that we found ways to beat ourselves. And that's what makes it hard in that locker room post game. That's what makes it hard. A tough pill to swallow is ultimately we came down here to win, to bring the hat back to Evanston. That was a mission that our guys were more than excited to go on. The weather, threw in an extra element, challenged our group to show up with a ton of energy and embrace the elements. I think our guys answered the bell on that. They were ready to play. And ultimately, just some critical moments there at the end of the first half. And then coming out in the second half, first two series, struggled to get going offensively. And then when we did catch rhythm offensively there in the second half, did a really poor job of protecting and valuing the football. When you lose a turnover battle, I believe it was 4-1 today. When you lose a turnover battle in that type of way against a good football team, that is not a recipe for success. It's okay for us to be disappointed. It's okay for us to be frustrated and angry about the result. It's okay for this to sting and hurt. It is not okay for this to affect our preparation for a bowl game. That's something that this team has earned, something that we celebrated last week, an opportunity to extend the season into the postseason with this group, a group that I love and appreciate and am really proud of. This is going to sting for a few days, but we'll be back to work on Tuesday, give our guys some time to recover, and get back to practice Thursday and Friday and prepare this team to finish this thing off the right way with a bowl victory.
Two like testing really put it all together for team stars that more of a solid emotion in the regular season. How do you test your teams and in the regular season?
Yeah, at the end of the day, I think first half early in the game, was in rhythm. I think there were some challenging elements of calling the game offensively today when Joe Hyman went down. We expected Caleb Komolafe to be available today, and unfortunately, he wasn't able to go. And then Joe goes down, play two. Overall, that dude's a winner. I love him. And at times his season has been categorized as inconsistent. So what a great opportunity for us to get back to work and position him to play his best, in our bowl game.
With lots of missed opportunities today, you end up getting the ball twice in a row inside the 10-yard line, really 53 points for that. Defense had a couple of big stops in the second half. Just curious as to reflect on it. Kind of what stands out to you the most about what you as a whole 16 could have done better, especially in that situation?
Yeah, I think the defense. I think Tim. I think that defensive staff. Did a good job of settling in as the game went along and found ways to create some opportunities. For our offense. Did a good job of responding in some adverse situations. Proud of the way that group continued to battle their butts off and keep us in the game. And ultimately, like that, it can't be a broken record. It's really easy to stand up here and say, oh, we got to be better in the red zone, or, we can't turn the ball over. Well, at the end of the day, that was the story of the game. When you got the ball inside the 10, it's got to be touchdowns. It wasn't today consistently. And we can't, turn the ball over 4 times, and opportunity over the bowl game to evaluate that objectively, position ourselves for success. We have a formula for winning here. Winning the rushing battle, winning the turnover battle are those 2 top bullet points. We didn't achieve either of those today. And it's a credit to our football team and the character of our football team that we kept ourselves in the game, considering how much we failed in those 2 categories today. So excited to find a way to get that fixed for our bowl game. Yeah, Matt, we'd have to go back and revisit, but I believe it was just inside the 2 minute. We started off wanting to run the football. I believe the drive started on the 25-yard line. We knew we were going in the wind. There was conversation that, hey, we're going to be conservative here. Illinois has 3 timeouts. You know, let's start off conservatively. Conservatively, if we pick up the first down, now we can start to go. And at the end of the day, in hindsight, that's frustrating. There's good protection. There's a great throw that's got to be caught. It gets tipped. It turns into a pick. You know, we were looking to position ourselves after that first down and some momentum. You know, worst case scenario, to get into you know, an advantageous field goal range.
Coach, obviously Joe goes down on his second rush. You're without Caleb. You're without Porter. You're without Deshaun Reeder. You know, obviously you've spoken about what Robby was able to do with that massive opportunity, but you know, with a really thin running back room, you guys did have a couple of freshmen on the roster, I believe, as well, that were not listed as out. Just curious if there was any thought in your guys' mind at maybe trying out some, maybe getting some speed in the backfield, to kind of balance out what Robby brought from a power standpoint.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know, Robby's earned that through his practice habits and his consistency. You know, Daniel Anderson's a young man in our program that we really believe in, but ultimately felt like Robby was the person to answer the bell on that. And, you know, came into a game as we prepped throughout the week with an expectation and a hope that we'd have Caleb Komaloff, Joe Hyman, and Robby Preckel. Robby was the guy that we decided to ride today. Excited for, you know, a guy like Daniel Anderson to continue to grow and develop, and you know, when his number's called, trust that Daniel will be ready.
Couple more, Matt. Since you've been head coach, typically the timing for any new hires or staff changes has been after bowl season. Is that still going to be the timeline this year, and should fans anticipate any changes?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, the coaching world out there right now, who knows how this is all going to work. For me to stand up here in front of a microphone and be able to tell you what that's going to look like. What I can tell you is it's an absolute priority to me to make sure that we, you know, evaluate everything that we're doing within the program, starting with me. We got to do a great job of closing out these last couple of days as we approach signing day. Got to get our team prepared for a bowl game. Got to get prepared for the transfer portal. But we got some really good football coaches on this staff that a lot of people, I'm sure, would be interested in hiring. We got to do a great job of retaining those guys, and ultimately every decision we make around that, Matt, has to be viewed through a lens of, you know, are we operating in a manner that is reflective of pursuing a Big Ten championship? And like that at the end of the day, that doesn't mean just because we failed in that mission this year that we have to blow everything up. There's been a lot of progress in this program. And that's a credit to our leadership, our seniors, Mac Uline, Cam Porter, Carmine Bastone, the list goes on and on and on. But at the end of the day, I promise you there's areas for us to improve. And, you know, my anticipation, Matt, is that we're going to have to be really active to make sure that we keep our staff together, and then also evaluate areas that we need to continue to grow. We're the smallest staff in the Big Ten, and that's okay. We like being small but mighty and punching above our weight. But there's going to be opportunities. I think the addition of Ryan Olson last year, working with Bill O'Boyle, had tremendous impact. You know, what can we do here in the next month to continue to push the needle forward and improve the program? But we'll evaluate that day to day, Matt. It's a pretty fluid time.
You talked about progress with the this time last year. I think one of your more fiery remarks as a head coach, you kind of gave, I think one of the signature phrases was you wanted to turn things in Northwestern on their head. A year later, after this Illinois game, how do you kind of reflect on that sentiment and what you've achieved at this program in the last year?
I'm excited about the progress, but we got a lot of work to do. I'm excited to get back to work with this group. This time last year, we were looking down the barrel of the offseason. Right now, we're looking down the barrel of a few more weeks together with this group, and we got to go finish it off the right way. Mac Uline, Carmine Bastone, Cam Porter, the rest of those seniors deserve that, and I'm excited to make sure that we get that done.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Thanks, everyone.
Braydon obviously ended up forcing that fumble on Luke Altmaier. Just curious what, if you could walk us through what happened on that play, what you were really trying to do, and just kind of how it all.
Yeah, I mean, we had a little pressure cooked up there that we had made an adjustment on the sideline to. And so, it was a little two-backer blitz that we had. And so, obviously, with the blitz, trying to sack the quarterback. And so, with the running back stepping up, I didn't anticipate that I was going to be the one getting to do that with me being the first guy in. But it ended up that I was the closest guy to it. So I'm just glad I was able to execute and give our guys a chance.
It seems like Illinois was really able to move the ball early, and then after kind of that triple reverse flea flicker, something seemed to kind of click. Only a field goal over their last, I think, 6 or 7 drives. What did you feel? Did you feel like that play was the shift, or what kind of fell in place out of that?
Yeah, I mean, I think we kind of just got settled in. I think we were just, when you settle in, you do a better job of focusing and executing your job within the framework of the defense. And so, I think we kind of started to feel the momentum shift. We started to really feel good, and guys, all over the defense started making plays when they needed to. So, I think that you could point to that as a shift, but I think it really was just our guys settling in, feeling good, and making plays.
Yeah. In terms of the weather, did you and the other guys out there find it difficult maybe to find your footing on some of those tackles, or did you really find that everything around that helped you guys and really benefited your ability to create stops in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, I think it definitely goes both ways. The weather and the snow is going to make it a lot more challenging on offense, but there were definitely times today where I think I can speak for myself and most of the defense where it was difficult to start and stop and to kind of gather yourself as you're trying to come in and tackle. So, but it goes both ways. So, you got to do what you can to just make sure you're putting yourself in the best, possibility or the best chance of making the plays when they come to you.
Northwestern with its top 2 linebackers pretty much is an every down team. You and Mac are going to be out there pretty much every play, and that kind of was the case the year before. So now coming in this season with not a ton of experience, but now you pretty much put together a full year, starting almost every play. Kind of how do you feel your first season here at Northwestern as an every down player?
Yeah, super grateful for the opportunity to get to do that. I feel like I've grown a lot, and just the experience itself, I feel like it just has made me feel a lot more comfortable out there than maybe I would have last year. And so, I feel like I've definitely grown and just, really trusted myself just with confidence to be able to be out there and, execute my job within the framework of the defense. Really glad and grateful I got that chance this year.
Obviously a bit of a sour note to the end of the season in a rivalry game, but still a bowl game to go. You, I believe, were a freshman when Northwestern played in the last bowl game. What's kind of the mentality of you guys, not just going week to week and moving on to the next game, but having essentially 3 weeks, almost a whole month to move on and really trying to finish out the regular season strong? Yeah,
I think like you said it well there, really just finish the season strong. I think a big thing will just be gratitude, getting the chance, after we earned a bowl game this year, and really just making the most of the time we have with the seniors, this group. I'm really grateful that they get to end their careers with a bowl game. They deserve it. They led us so well this year, and they've done such a good job with our team, both on and off the field. So I'm just really, really grateful that we get some more time with them and that they get some more time here. And I think our focus really just needs to be on obviously getting ready to go and win our bowl game, but also really just enjoy and treasure, the time and moments that we have with them, because those guys have just been through so much over their career here at Northwestern, the guys that chose to stay. And I just really so badly want, for them to, finish it on a high note. And so, just really treasure the time that we have with them and make sure we're sending them out the right way, the way that they deserve.
Go right into questions for Robby.
Yeah. Coach said they expected Caleb to be a go today, and then obviously that doesn't happen, and then it seems like it's going to be a split between you and Joe, and then Joe goes down. So kind of how hard or what was it like for you mentally going into a game where like I'm part of 3 running backs, I'm part of 2 running backs?
I didn't really think about it like that. Coach AT, he obviously prepares me every week, to fullest, just to even go out there by myself. That's why he's such a great coach. He kind of prepares each running back, like even the guys who probably won't play, he'll prepare them to, be able to execute every play just by themselves. So.
As a whole, the offense in the second half ended up with just 3 points. From your perspective, what do you think you guys can improve on in the bowl game, and what are kind of some of the things that stands out that you guys did today that maybe you'll be thinking back on over the next couple of days?
For sure, finish on the goal line. We know we need to walk out with 7 points, not 3 points. And obviously, I need to be better in a lot of those categories. just my technique and my footwork, and just be able to read the play. But yeah, I think we just need to be able to finish plays and finish drives.
You kind of played all around in Lafayette in high school. You kind of came into Northwestern as an athlete, maybe trending more towards tight end. Did you see this season basically going to kind of a fullback and then true running back role here at the end coming?
No, not really at all. But I'm blessed for the opportunity the coaches they gave me. I'll take any opportunity to get on that field, any opportunity to win, and help this program out.